Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. I'm inside today, not like yesterday I was stuck out in my car in the pouring rain, but I am getting ready to go to another one of my son's football games. And for everybody who was asking yesterday what the score was, it was a brilliant game, by the way. It finished 3-3. My son's team scored in the last minute to make it 3-2. And then, I don't know where this referee, he looks like he's following the Premier League once, right? I don't know where he found all this extra injury time because we timed it on our phones, the parents, right? And he'd got about 3 minutes overtime and then they scored in the last minute. But it was a great game. And as I said, it's where it all starts from. And also yesterday, of course, there was a lot of really, really good FA Cup games on. I really enjoyed watching some of them and some shocks as well. The Newcastle one, after all their antics during the week, when they had to have a go now at Sheffield Wednesday, they came a cropper, losing that game by 2-1, and Newcastle are out of the FA Cup. So it just goes to show you can't get complacent in this FA Cup. We've got Oxford on Monday. And I still think we're going to go for a pretty strong team. And make sure you check out our preview to that. But just goes to show, to keep yourself alive in this tournament, you can't just keep going with these weak teams. You could come a cropper. Now, transfer news. Now, Arsenal today, could they have made a bid for Danilo of Palmeiras? Now, we know that Arsenal have been interested in the youngster since last summer. And there was a lot of talk that Arsenal were going to bring him in last summer. They didn't bring him in. He stayed at Palmeiras. And now today there's rumours circulating that 3 clubs have made, or one of 3 clubs have made a bid for Danilo. Now, of course, we know Danilo is a highly talented defensive midfielder, very good at progressing the ball as well as being really, really strong in the tackle. The 3 clubs in question which the rumours are saying, and this is according to Goal, they're saying it's either Arsenal, Monaco, or Atletico Madrid. One of those 3 clubs have bid £20 million for him. It's been turned down. But is one of those clubs Arsenal? Listen, we need a defensive midfielder. We need somebody in that area. I know there's been lots of talk of forward players. But what about if Thomas Partey was to pick up an injury? What would happen to him? So I feel that, this is a very important area. And the other thing that makes this a little bit mysterious is the fact that there's a rumour going around today that Mohamed Elneny is wanted by Unai Emery at Aston Villa. There's also talk that Arsenal would be willing to sell, but they'd want around about £6 million for him. So if we did sell Mohamed Elneny, are we the team that have bid for Danilo? Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Now, as I said, it's all rumours and speculation. For me, if we haven't gone in for Danilo and if we didn't sign, a Danilo, I would be strictly against selling Elneny because he always comes in, he always does a job. We know he's not Thomas Partey, but we don't want to leave ourselves short in that area. But apparently, Aston Villa interested in Mohamed Elneny if Arsenal would be willing to sell. We have to keep an eye on that one. Tammy Abraham is interested in Arsenal. Now, Tammy Abraham had an unbelievable season last year for Roma. He scored 27 goals in all competitions and was really one of the hottest strikers in Italian football. However, this year, it hasn't been the same for him. He's only scored 3 goals so far in Serie A and is having a bit of a quiet season. Didn't make the England squad for the World Cup and, not quite hitting the heights. Now, there's a rumour coming out of Italy from a publication called La Repubblica that Roma would be willing to sell Tammy Abraham and that Arsenal, along with Manchester United, are interested in, signing him. They're monitoring the situation that if this is true and that they would be willing to sell, that they would be ready to pounce. Now, listen, he's an old school striker in that he's a number 9. He's good in the air. He's a decent finisher, and he has that presence. He knows all about the Premier League from playing when he was at Chelsea. Would it be a good signing for Arsenal? Would you like to see a Tammy Abraham come in if he was available As I said, again, it's just a rumour coming out of the Republica at the moment. But would you be up for a Tammy Abraham? I don't think it would be cheap. I think Roma would be looking for a lot more money than his valuation of around about £40 million. But we were interested in him before. We were interested in Tammy Abraham before, and we didn't move for him. Is it a player that we should move for now? If those rumours are true, would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Of course, there's João Felix. The saga continues. But according to a lot of publications, Arsenal have sort of become the favourites for his signature. It looks like Manchester United are kind of cooling their interest. We saw a lot of the rumours yesterday linking them with Wout Weghorst of Burnley, that they could take him on loan from now till the end of the season. Weghorst, of course, Dutch. I remember watching him in the World Cup, and we know that Ten Hag likes his Dutch players. If that's true, a lot of rumours are saying that Arsenal are the favourites. Corriere dello Sport, one of them, saying that Arsenal currently negotiating with Atletico Madrid. Now, we all know, I don't want to keep boring you guys and talking about this, that it's this big loan fee that Atletico Madrid are looking for. They're also looking for an obligation to buy of around about £70 million. So the whole package would probably be, if Arsenal went for that package, around about £80 million. Now, the understanding is that Arsenal, all they want to do is just take him on loan from now till the end of the season. Then they make a decision on whether they would, try and bring him in on a permanent move. But at the moment, that one's still going on. But Arsenal said to be the favourites to sign João Felix, according to a lot of publications. Now, you didn't think a show would be over this month of January without me mentioning Mykhailo Mudryk. No chance. The saga still rumbles on. And it was interesting when Mikel Arteta was asked about Mudryk yesterday. First of all, he didn't really comment on it, as he always does with these transfers. He says, I'm not talking about players that are not at our club. But he did quite interestingly say that it's up to players to choose what club they wish to play for. He sort of said that. Now, that for me was quite interesting, because that's almost like he's sending out a sort of subliminal message to the player, or maybe even not even to the player, but maybe to the club, Shakhtar, that, you know what, the guy wants to come to Arsenal, just let him go. Free Mudryk. And there was an agent over in Ukraine called Igor Krevenko, who's very, very critical of Shakhtar Donetsk, basically saying to Shakhtar, listen, your valuation's ridiculous. You can't value a player that's playing in the Ukrainian league at the same sort of money as a player that's playing in the Dutch league. That's what he was basically saying. And he went on to describe Shakhtar as putting Mudryk in a golden cage. In other words, he's saying the same sort of thing, The player wants to come. It looks, again, like Chelsea, even though they are really, really interested and they're willing to pay the mega money, but it's looking like Chelsea is starting to look at other targets as well. They're being very heavily linked with Marcus Thuram today. I tell you, they got to be careful here, Shakhtar. They got to be careful. Now, remember this one. Houssem Aouar. Remember Houssem Aouar, right? Now, that one was rumbling on a couple of seasons ago. Arsenal were really in for him. They bid £55 million for Houssem Aouar. And remember, Lyon were playing hardball. They turned it down. And in the end, the move fell apart. Houssem Aouar now is in the last parts of his contract. He is available on a free in the summer. Free. That means Lyon are not going to get a penny for the player. His performances sort of dropped off after that. But it can affect players if they've got their move, that they're set on, and then the club just gets too greedy. That's what happened in the case of Houssem Aouar. That's what can happen. And now, as I said, look, he's available for nothing, literally. There's clubs said to be interested in him this January, but they're not going to pay more than about, not even 10 million. So that was a real bad move by Lyon. Shakhtar got to be very careful here that they don't fall into the same trap. I know Mudryk is a very, very hot prospect, but so was Aouar. So they've got to be very careful here. And I think Arsenal at the moment are right to be with their stance where they're not going to pay stupid money. I mean, already it's a very, very high fee. I think what Arsenal's offering is quite reasonable. Shakhtar have got to get a bit more reasonable in their dealings. They know, though, however, that Arsenal are desperate for this player, and they know that Arsenal want to bring the player in quick, and that is why they're trying to squeeze it. But looks like Arsenal might be willing to hold out until the end of the transfer window on this one. Let's wait and see how it all pans out. Those are the rumours today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our excellent content around the game against Oxford in the FA Cup on Monday. Really, really looking forward to that. I'm going to be at the game as well, speaking to the fans. And also, don't forget to keep leaving your comments. They are greatly, greatly appreciated. I'll try to read as many of them as possible. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to subscribe there to AFTV. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.